Hello and welcome to this AppSense demonstration. Today we're going to be looking at the AppV wizard inside of Environment Manager. Now the AppV wizard is a feature of Environment Manager that allows us to make changes to the AppV environment, so we can amend AppV OSD files, and we can also use it to deploy our applications. So what we're going to do today is look at using the AppV wizard to deploy an application out to one of my end users. So I already have a user logged on to a desktop via RDP here. So this is one of my engineers who is logged on to a Windows 7 machine. Now all of the applications on this particular desktop are being brought in via AppV. So there are no locally installed applications here. The four icons on the left hand side of the desktop here are all being brought in via the AppV wizard in Environment Manager. So if I were to start up Microsoft Project, for example, you can see that the AppV client starts up, and after a few seconds we get Microsoft Project appear. So what we're going to do is add in an additional application for this user to be able to access, and we're going to add in Microsoft Excel. So first off, I'm just going to log the user off of this desktop, and we're going to jump into the Environment Manager console to configure the deployment of this application. So this is the configuration that's currently running on the Windows 7 machine that we were just on, and the desktop shortcuts are being brought in when the user logs on. So first off, we just need to go to the log on node here and just find the desktop shortcuts action from there. So we only want this to apply to my engineers. So at the moment I've got a condition here for my finance group and another one for my engineers. So it's the bottom one we need to open up. And we only want this to apply if the user is logging onto a Windows 7 machine, so we're going to open up the Windows 7 condition there as well. So anything we add under here is only going to apply to my engineers when they log on to Windows 7. Now so far, as you can see, we've got four AppV actions that we're using to bring in those four applications on the user's desktop, and we're just going to add in a fifth one now for Microsoft Excel. So I'm going to click on the Windows 7 condition here and then go to the actions and the AppV wizard. So we get the splash screen up first off that just tells us what we can do with the wizard here. So as I mentioned, things like updating the registry values, any environment variables we want to change, and also if we want to add in any scripts as well. So we can just click next here. So first off, we need to find the sequenced OSD file that we're going to deploy out to the user. So we just click on the Browse tab here. Now all of the applications, or the AppV applications or packages, are actually just stored locally on my C drive on this server. So I'm not using an AppV management server. All of the sequence packages, as I say, are just sat locally on my C drive here in Packages. So we're going to go into Packages and New Office and find the relevant OSD file for Excel, which is just here. We're going to open that one up. Just need to make a slight change here. We need to make sure this is pointing towards my server rather than pointing towards the C drive, so I'm just going to add in the server name here so we get the full file path and the correct location. And click next. Here we can add a title in for the application, so I'm just going to add in MS Excel. Oops, I'll capitalise that one actually. And we can also change any parameters and the OS that is supported by this package. So when this package was sequenced, it was set up with the OSs as indicated here, but if we wanted to add in any additional, say for 64-bit or for Vista, then we could do that from here as well. We also need to add in the SFT file location, which again we just need to make sure is pointing towards our server in the right place. And there's actually a New Office there. Go. Oh. Now we click next. So this next screen gives us the options of where we want to publish the shortcut for the application to. Now as default, it's showing us the user profile desktop, which is where we want to leave it on this occasion. We can add in additional locations such as the start menu or wherever is preferable to put the shortcut. And then below that we need to choose the icon file. And again, if we just click on the Browse button, and see that in my New Office folder we've got the MS Office icons. Now we just need to open that up and find the the relevant Excel icon. So we're looking for this one just here. Okay. And again, just change the location from the local C drive to the full file path of the server here. Now this next screen is where we can start making changes within the OSD file if we need to. So we've got a long list of options of environment variables that we can amend here. So things such as the home path, computer name, domain, username, that kind of thing. The only one I'm going to change in this situation is just the local app data. I'm going to change to C users admin. Now click next. On the next screen we can add in any additional registry keys or values that we want to include with this application. I'm going to leave this one blank for the moment as I don't need to add anything additional in, but the option's there should we require it. And similarly on the next screen we can add in any additional scripts that we want to run alongside the application as well. But again I'm going to leave this as blank for the moment. Now this next screen gives us the location of the OSD file and icon on the endpoint. And again it just gives us the default options of temp folder for both of these. In most cases that's absolutely fine, so I'm going to leave that as such for this time as well. And click next again. So we then just get a summary screen of everything that we've changed within here. It gives us the source of OSD file, a summary of the changes that we've made, and this is the XML, the script that's going to apply to the OSD file when it runs. So we can just click finish there. And there we go, Excel's now been added to the list of applications that we're going to deploy for my engineer when they log on to a Win7 desktop at logon. So the last step is just to deploy this new configuration out to our end device. So we do that just by going to saving and then clicking OK there. Now the packages are set to deploy automatically, so if we go into the management console you can see that that's already started to deploy out to my Win7 machine. So it's pending the install. So we may have to just wait a few seconds while this deploys out. The machine is polling back every 60 seconds looking for any updates, so as soon as it polls back and sees that new package is available for it to download and install, it will start doing so. As you can see it's already installed on my XP machine that's in the same group. So we just give this a few seconds more and it should start to download and install that new package for us. And there we go. So just a few seconds taken to install the package. Now that's on the endpoint and it's ready for us to log back on. So it's going to start up a remote desktop session again. And again we're going to log on with our engineer. So this is the same machine that we were logged onto initially. Let's try that again. So here we go, we're just logging onto the Win7 machine as the same user as before, and once we get to the desktop in a few seconds we should have our new application ready waiting for us to use. So wait for the Win7 login to complete and there we go. So the same desktop as before, but as you can see this time we now have the Excel icon ready and waiting for us over on the left hand side. And you can see if we hover over it, we can see the bubble saying that it's the AppSense Environment Manager generated link for MS Excel. So we can just fire this up, and again we can see the OSD and the AppSense, the AppV client launching the application down the bottom there. That's the first run time, and there we go. We've got Excel ready for our user to start using there. So there we go. It's a brief overview of what we can do with the AppV wizard, and just an example of how we can use that to deploy applications out to our end users. For more information, please visit appsense.com. Thank you very much for your time.